Okay, we are now live with AR for Learning. I almost called it Let's Talk AR. We are talking about social studies and augmented reality, and we are doing a tweet and chat over on the Twitter site. If you are following the hashtag AR for Learning, you can tweet along with Amber, who is co-moderator tonight, and she is managing the Twitter side while I manage the GHO side. And I do have a couple guests that hopefully popping on with me right now is Tammy. So Tammy, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Tammy Neal. I teach computer science in a tiny little school, rural school in North Florida, Branford High School, and we are a 612 school, and we are just stepping into the AR community this year.
Well, welcome, and you don't teach social studies, right? You're the tech
No,
person.
I'm the tech person. The social studies teachers come to me.
Yes, we love it when they come to us. Also,
Yes.
Amber, or not Amber, Adam, who's next to Amber on my screen, is joining us tonight.
Hey, what's up, Katie? Hi, Tammy. That's all right.
Hey, Adam.
What's going on? Hi, Amber. So yeah, I am. During the day, I am the actual assistant principal and supervisor for social studies, and as well as the CEO and owner of Augmented, an augmented reality company. So.
Who loves to have lots of triggers on social studies related. Because I like through all of them.
Tons and tons of triggers on social studies. Yes, we do have a lot. It's my favorite.
And we do have Dawn on Twitter. She's joining us. And I do believe Karen is on Twitter joining us for AR for Learning. And Peggy, I saw that she was tweeting out getting people excited about AR for Learning, and we also have, and I lost the name. I need a secretary.
We have Lakita from Georgia.
Lakita and Bethany and Terry, our first that is her Twitter name, is joining us on the Twitter side.
Terry is from Florida. She's really, really cool.
She's been showing teachers in, I want to say, maybe some administration too, some augmented reality, and she's being the go-to person in her school, which is great.
Yes.
Okay. On the Twitter side, they're using the Q&A. On the Google Hangout side, I'm going to show you the slide. So we are getting ready for question number 1. We tried to time it about the same, so we'll see if this works. It worked really good last time we did it. Emily is also on the Twitter side, so hi, Emily and LaQuinta. I think I said hi. I'm waiting for Doug. Doug said he said that he was showing up, but I haven't seen him, and I was trying to call him, and Google Hangout doesn't always work out the best for me. Okay, so are you ready for the first question? If I can share my screen and do all this great, wonderful magic here, right? Okay, present to everyone. Get rid of that window. I was supposed to show this one. Forgot it. Here we are, Amber and I, talking about social studies. Do you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so we should be ready for the first question. It is, let's see who's in the house. What grade level or area of social studies are you representing tonight? And I think we kind of already answered that when we introduced ourselves. I did teach social studies, 6th grade social studies for 3 years, which was a lot of fun.
Well, when I started out, I taught social studies. I started out as an elementary school teacher, And I'm not even going to say how many years ago. Let's just say augmented reality was a thing that was in the movies back then. It was not even considered real. It was science fiction. And Adam and folks like him are bringing it to life.
Thanks, Tabby.
The reason I got into augmented reality was because of the social studies. I was looking for 3D models of the pyramids and the Roman Colosseum. And if I turn off my mic, that's because I'm yelling at a teenager. But that's the reason, one of the reasons I got into augmented reality, because I wanted to bring the world to my classroom.
You know, and I think social studies is one of the easiest ways to bring augmented reality in. There's so much history that augmented reality makes come alive. It puts you in that time spot that there's no other way to get that level of immersion into the content.
And I started using that because of the 3Ds, and there were so many different environments, and kids could because we're in the middle of Kansas. I mean, we're landlocked. We got farms and cows and wind turbines. The kids don't get out, and they don't get to see the world, and they don't get to see what a desert looks like, or what mountains look or stuff. So we brought in those triggers for geography mainly, and the kids could grasp this is what it looks like. It was better because they could spin it around on their iPads. We were one-to-one iPads at the time, and the kids could spin around on the iPads, look up, look down, look all around, and kind of be immersed in that environment. And so that really opened the door for bringing augmented reality into my classroom for the social studies side.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Change in weather out here in New York. It's in New Jersey. It's killing me. Well, I mean, I started playing around. I started playing around with augmented reality about 5 to 5.5 years ago, and I was actually a special education teacher teaching special ed social studies. So the biggest thing that I had a problem with was keeping my kids focused and engaged. And you look at a two-dimensional picture and you're saying, well, here's a picture of the pyramids, and these children have conceptual visual issues, and they also don't realize that in a three-dimensional pyramid what it would look like. And then you bring in a whole new level of learning and understanding of the simple concepts that we take for granted as teachers sometimes. So I saw augmented reality and I thought, wow, this is awesome. I can't wait to start using it. And then I just said, let me do my own thing and create my own platform. And that's what I did.
Awesome. Okay, well, we are going to move on to question number 2. So let me see if I can hop into my Mac and get all this going. Okay, question number 2. What experiences have you already had with augmented reality? If you're new to AR, don't worry. We are definitely here to help. You can always shout at us at any time, and we will answer back, especially either in the group or on Twitter. We've got a whole bunch of teachers, this huge group of experts that have been using augmented reality in their first couple of years, or they're new and they really caught on really well. That would reach out and would love to help you. So if you're new, don't worry about it. Oh, and I'm ahead of Amber. Darn it, I thought she was tagging me for the question. So we'll talk about it ahead of time. This is what happens when I try to multitask and look off 2 screens.
Kitty,
and she's laughing. She thinks it's hilarious. Yes.
Kitty, can you
I'm
hear
ahead
me?
of you. I'm sorry. Yes, I can.
I was just noticing there was somebody, let me get the correct name here. She was just mentioning, that's what I tagged you in, Tara. She was the one that joined our AR for Learning community like maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago on the science, and she
Awesome.
submitted, yeah, she submitted and was accepted to do a workshop on augmented reality based on that. So that was really cool.
And is she's the one from Canada, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Awesome. Welcome, Tara, and congrats. I saw tag ready for the next question. Okay. Yeah. And I see David is in the house. He's a Kansan guy, so welcome. I'd like to when Kansas people join us. And Nick's in the house. He's in Tampa, so he's joining us on the Twitter side as well. So I popped a question on number 2, and we kind of know how long I've been doing augmented reality. So how long have you been doing it, Tammy? Been working with it or playing with it?
I've been dabbling with it for about a year now. I know that, just over a year ago, you jumped into an ed camp that I was leading, and that's coming up again next week. So you and I have, you've been helping me out with it for a little over a year. Our school is ready. I mean, we're at that spot. Adam has graciously agreed to be one of our sponsors this year. We've got teachers who are looking for that next level, and so I'm super, super, super excited that Amber is going to be joining us next week, and we're going to be sharing a lot of this with the teachers. I know you introduced it last year, and they were so excited, Katie Ann, and I think that it's taken some time for them to figure out how to move it into their curriculum. And now we have some teachers that are going, okay, I need pictures of steamboats, and I want pictures of this, and I want to be immersed in that. And so we've got some teachers just really chomping at the bit for it right now. So the timing is perfect.
Awesome. I wish I could join in, but from now until end of June, I'm like the most busiest person in the world. My son's graduating, and we are doing apartment hunting and preparing for graduation, and then my daughter's going to be part of the Miss Kansas pageant for the little sunflower princess part. So busy mom. Oh, and guess what? I have a book that's almost ready to be published. I met with the editor today, and we went over some changes. So hopefully within the next week, it'll be released to be published.
Oh wow! I cannot wait.
So, and it's been a passion of mine for the last one started in June. So it's almost been a year that I've been working on this book. I can't wait to get rid of it now. I can't wait to everybody else to see it.
For the next step.
Yeah, the next step. And then they already asked me to start another one, and I'm like, can I finish the first one? That's life. Okay, Amber did release question number 2, so we're a little bit ahead of the game. I wanted to share a trigger that is for social studies, and it's one of my favorite ones, and I do believe it's a newer one for you, Adam. I can't remember when I first saw it.
Which one's that?
So let me pull it. You'll have to wait just a moment. I have to pull it up. I have folders on my desktop with things I want to do, so I have to go get that folder. Okay, so let me share my screen again. Send to everyone, go to the right folder. We're in a tunnel.
Hey, Tammy.
Okay,
Yes.
so
Just so you know, I wanted to let you know that I misspelt. It says I love the Ed Camp peeps, not I leave the Ed Camp peeps.
Yeah, I knew what that meant.
I just wanted you to know that, you know.
well, I was going to teach you on your typing, but
You have never left us
I
behind.
decided not to.
I'm the worst at when it comes to, you know, let's not go here.
Well, do you see my screen?
I
Yep,
do.
I'm there.
Okay, I'm okay. Awesome. I teach a STEM class, and we are doing some engineering things. We are currently working with 3 other schools to build a third model of the Model T. When we are done with that, we will be working on roller coasters and arches and whatnot. So this will be one of the triggers that if I can get to work in my building has firewall issues and filter issues. If I can get it to look at this, will be one of the triggers that I plan on using with my students, so that they can see back. This is from, I do believe, an aqueduct, and then you can see the arches that they designed. So hopefully that might help. And it's a 360 environment. I can go in and kind of look at the arches a little better, and hopefully help them design their roller coasters. I want arches, and I want turns, and I want, you know, a marble to go through. And so this is one of my favorite triggers. Hopefully it is working if you're scanning it. You will need the Augmented
Yes,
app
it
to
is
scan.
working.
Awesome.
It is working.
This is one of my favorites. That is
Well, it's one of my favorites. But I can't remember when I saw it. I wasn't in the original one, so I don't remember when I saw. I've looked at so many of your triggers. It's hard to remember when I see things, and I tag them. These are the ones I want to use. Okay. Let's see. Over on the Twitter side, we have Emily. This is her first year using AR in the classroom. She was used at a TETA summer conference by one of our ambassadors, Katrina. The teaching gal was her Twitter name. And I'm not for sure who the other.
Cloud-based media.
I don't know, actually. Showed is helping her grow with augmented reality. We have a huge group of ambassadors. How many's in that ambassador program, Adam?
Say
You've
that
run
again.
it more, so I can't really. How many is in the Augmented ambassador program?
Right now, we're currently at 44 ambassadors. And
And
Tammy,
that's global,
and
right?
that is global. And I tried to talk Tammy into doing it, which I'll get her to do very shortly. But Katie Ann is obviously, you know, has led up the charge on that and has done a phenomenal job recruiting and keeping people interested in AR, and it's great, you know, to be able to have that resource of educators who are out there speaking about augmented reality in general, but it's an honor to have the people who are talking about us even more so. So
Awesome. Cindy is on the Twitter side, and she said she just stumbled onto the chat. We love it when people stumble on, because then I can put them and keep them and teach them lots of good things. She's very curious to learn more. So Cindy, feel free to reach out to the 4 ambassadors from Augnet, plus anybody in our Google augmented reality for education. And we will have a link to that at the end of the chat as well, so that you can go in and follow the chat. Katrina kind of jumped in, so hi, Katrina. Terry has been using quite a few pre-made tricks, and usually send her a whole bunch. and she plays around with them. And I'd love to share. So if you want something, I know where to get like quiver triggers, Cromwell triggers. I can help get out some demo for Augmented triggers. So just holler if you need some samples, and I will gladly hook you up. And so would our ambassadors as well. There's 2 Tammys.
Yes, my network started flaking, so. Talk about augmented reality.
Yeah, you're doubled. You're cloned. And Jane, is it Jane? Cheap with apps. Is that Jane?
Jane, yeah. Jane Claire.
Jane Claire is hopped on. She's watching and listening. So Jane, to AR for Learning. Oh, question number 3. Woohoo! I didn't jump at the gun this time, so let me go get it. I know I get so excited, right? I get in a tunnel. Okay, so question number 3. Do you use interactive social studies notebooks, workbooks, textbooks, or how do you ditch that book? I can tell you when I was teaching 3 years with social 6th grade social studies, I ditched the book and I started creating the augmented triggers in the notebooks, and I even created a iBook for my students, and I embedded videos that I want them to watch because, you know, kids can't watch YouTube at school, so I would go and save the videos and embed them in that so that they could watch a little video clip. So I kind of ditched the book and made my own book, and we had interactive notebooks. What do your teachers use TME social studies?
Our social studies teachers are still using textbooks. However, our science teachers and quite a few of our math teachers have gone to the interactive notebooks. I know when I taught math, well, 3 years ago, I was using the interactive notebooks. The class that I'm in now, we have a workbook, but for the most part, we've ditched the textbook.
Yeah, so the reason I ditched that textbook was because I looked at its publishing date, and our standards had changed, and even matching standards, and the content I had to cover wasn't. So I ditched it, and I was looking for the augmented stuff because I wanted to bring that stuff to the kids and let them, you know, because we're visual learners, and a 2D photograph doesn't always to give them the depth and, you know, the size and, you know, a pyramid or you'll see them aqueducts or whatever that is there. Kids need to see it and kind of experience it, I think. So
yeah,
I went that way.
Well, I teach, one of the courses I teach this year is game design. Awesome. And we have a textbook in the classroom, but we haven't opened it nearly as much as some people would like me to. Oh well. The kids and I learn from reality. I mean, that's just the bottom line. We used it. I use it as a reference book, but the kids would much rather go out and learn about the game programs and things like that from reality, from the websites, from the reviews, from the people that program it. Then sit there and read a book about this is how you program. They would rather be in there and do. So we're in there doing.
Yeah, and something's got to learn on the fly. I mean, it's just easier because that's how people, I mean, that's how I learn. I never pick up a manual and read it through to see how to something work. I dive in and see what I can do with it. So, and kids are like that. Kids like to experiment and discover. And Doug popped on, so hi, Doug. I'm going to let you introduce yourself and tell us what you teach for those that are watching. And I know you do social studies, so I was really, really excited for you to join us today. Can you hear me, Doug?
Cool.
Maybe not.
Thank you.
Yes.
I've been around for a while. I think I teach everything, don't we? We all kind of teach everything.
Yeah.
Algebra and literacy and social studies, and we find ways to unite all those things together most of the time anyway. So, I teach at a small coastal school in rural Maine after having lived in New York City for many, many years. And I'm trying to do this from my iPad tonight, which is interesting.
I've tried doing a hang my phone and it didn't work out too well. We've got a couple teachers on the Twitter side that says I'm the queen of interactive notebooks. Well, thank you, Nick. I just love to make them. I like to make the foldables and then put augmented stuff on them so that they truly become interactive and the kids get additional content and see the 3D models or see active website, games, things like that that I can tie to the foldable. Tara says she is trying to ditch, but students are a bit reluctant. Yeah, we had students that wanted to, when we went one-to-one on iPads, they didn't want to do their work on the iPads. They wanted to do it on paper pencil, and they wanted and stuff, and it was very hard to change that culture. But now I think some of the kids that this is, the second, third year that they've done it, and they wouldn't go back. They like having to be able to create and turning in things digital because then, the teacher got it because there's a timestamp saying that, you turned it in and it's there. So, yeah, it's a culture thing. It is hard for some people to change, to get rid of the textbooks, get rid of the workbooks, and do something else. Because that's how a lot of us were taught. First grade, my daughter brings home stacks and stacks of paper that they tear out of their workbook, and they only do one side of the page. I'm like, oh. But, yeah, it's a culture thing. We're getting there. We got to keep pursuing and keep showing people how amazing augmented reality is. Okay, so, and on the Twitter side, Donna is sharing, so we're going to have to, I will be archiving both the video and the Twitter chat, and they'll be posted in our group. But Donna's sharing some Quiver Vision she did with the dot, and they did some presentations, and that's a Quiver trigger, and I use that trigger a lot for different things. We used it in social studies. To illustrate, I think it was a Greek god, and then we also use it in my computer apps class for a writing essay project. It's a really good trigger. You can use it for things. Okay, so we are ready for question number 4. Let me put it on the screen for everybody. Do you guys see the weird cascading?
The tunnel? Yes, we see the tunnel.
The tunnel, okay. Okay, for those teachers that have had to push social studies to the wayside during testing, like a lot of us, especially in the elementary, how could AR and social studies and reading all be tied together? And I love that you said you have a teacher that will be doing the social studies and reading next year. I would love to hear how they plan on doing that. So when you find out more, that would be awesome to know how they kind of try to tie it all together.
Well, I have a feeling that after next week, okay, Amber, get ready. After next week's Ed Camp Branford, she will be in touch with you and Amber quite a bit over the summer.
Awesome. I can't wait. Anytime she needs help or suggestions, just tell her to shout out. Most
Yes.
of the things go to my phone, and I have my phone with me most of the time unless my daughter locks me out and we have to hack into it, and that was a mess. Um, but other than that, I usually have my phone. Uh,
Well, I can
yes,
say
I
as
would
someone
love to.
who is new in this and getting my feet wet and using it with my students this year really for the first time, really digging into it. You and Amber both have just always been there when I had a question, always ready, going, okay, let's make this happen. So, I was really tickled because Amber showed it off at a play date that happened in, I want to say December.
I think
Um,
so.
and we got to see Quiver, and so it was really nice to be able to have that time to dig into it on my own, so that when the kids are getting ready to use it, I knew a little bit more about what I was talking about. I didn't have to know everything because I had the two of you helping me all the way through, but it was nice to be able to get more comfortable before I put it out there with my students.
Well, and I have to say, I met Amber last June, and it's been almost a year,
Hmm.
and she was brand new. Was I had triggers, and I was showing teachers during Nick's conference,
ST14,
Superior,
yeah.
yeah, ST14, Superior Tech for Teachers, some triggers during lunch and during when we had breaks and stuff. And she saw that, it kind of blew her mind, and then
Hmm.
she went to my session, and which is why I was doing it, so I get people to go to my session. And she just kind of picked up on it and she rolled with it. So
Yeah.
props to Amber. She's learned a lot, and I even
Hmm.
told her that this past year, using ed tech stuff with her kids, and in moderating a chat and everything. I mean, all these things are all new to her, and she's just diving in and helping me out. So I do appreciate the help. Yes, and we augmented her yearbook this year. So once it's all published and ready to go, I bet she'll be sharing that information out, because that was, I think it's fun to do things like that. So we have a brain break coming up. We are going to show off some triggers. So I'm going to put it on the screen, and then Amber's going to be launching it on Twitter. So you'll need to get your devices out. I want to say the first one is that Augmented 360s, I think. I can't remember. I helped her. I gave her the stuff, and I can't remember what I did. So let me pull it up. Yes, I'm right. Whew. Okay. So let me pull up my screen so that we have the triggers. Okay. So present to everyone. And I think I'm off. Okay, are you ready to play a little?
Of course. Yeah.
Here are resources from Augmented and Quiver Vision, so let's have lots of fun. Don't worry, the chat will be archived, so will the video, so you can play later too if you don't have your device handy. I'm going to hold them up for a little longer, so that people can pull out their devices and use Aug. Oh, and I did remember, I did give her the Aqueduct one. We have Paris. We're going to go to Paris. We're going to go to Rome, and then we're going to see the Earth from a distance, which would be great for geography. So these would all be great for geography lessons. They would also be great for the ancients, if you're teaching ancient Rome. Also, we're doing scale modelings in math, and I don't know how many Eiffel Towers. We printed all different scales in all different colors for our 7th grade math, but we had scale models of Eiffel Towers. And then we also have this 360, and there's another one, another 360 of the Eiffel Tower. I couldn't decide which one I wanted to share, so I went eeny, meeny, miny, mo, and this is the one I picked. So out of these triggers, Adam, which one's your favorite?
So I'm going to say I still like the aqueduct.
Me too.
What?
Me too. That's one of my favorites.
But, I mean, the Eiffel Tower is cool, especially that we have multiple versions of the Eiffel Tower, so it's like different points of view and perspective. I mean, I like them. I have to say I do like them all because, I mean, it is my company. I know I designed them, so I'm happy with them. I don't really have a favorite.
Okay, so Tammy, and Doug, do you have your devices where you can scan and kind of tell us which one you like out of the 4 being shown?
I do like the Mona Lisa, by the way. She's right. Amber's right. I do like the Mona Lisa one that we have. Absolutely.
That's because it's hers.
The Mona Lisa? I did a better Mona Lisa than she did.
I haven't seen yours. I've seen hers.
Well, it was in, you know, we didn't release it because. Well, this is a conversation for later, I guess. I don't want to make Amber mad.
Okay, Tammy. You'll have to tell us which one you're scanning and what your thoughts are on it and what you could use it for or help your teachers that teach social studies use it for. Did I lose Tammy?
No, I'm here. I'm just trying to figure out if I'm supposed to scan it off your little, because you haven't made it large yet.
Oh, on my screen it's large.
No, Katie Ann, we still see your whole library of. Nothing's gotten zoomed in yet.
Oh, that's just weird. Okay, let me try again. Google loves me. Okay. Entire screen. No wonder you were being so quiet.
There's the tunnel of infinity.
There we go.
There we go.
See, that's what it looked like on my screen the whole time, so I don't know why it didn't do it.
And I'm actually using my device to participate, so I can't scan right
You'll
now.
have to do it later and tell us which one you really liked.
Yeah.
Okay, so
and we
there's
have
the
an
Eiffel Tower.
Yeah. And we have an Ann joining us on the Twitter side. She wanted to know if this was every Thursday. Yes, we're trying to have either a Twitter chat and or Twitter Google Hangout. We're doing the Hangout about once a month, and then the chat we're trying to do it every Thursday. Trying, schedules and people it's sometimes hard to schedule. So yes, to answer your question, Ann, yes. Okay, go ahead, Tammy. Sorry.
No, I just scanned the Eiffel Tower one, and now I'm scanning. I guess that's the Colosseum there next to it.
Yes, the Roman Colosseum.
Okay.
I do like the Earth one, though.
The Earth one's a new one, if I remember right.
It is. We launched 3 brand new ones to look from the inside of the Earth, from the center out, and then from the outside in.
Which would be great for science and social studies.
Absolutely. Yeah. They're pretty cool.
Okay, did it go for you,
Yes.
Tammy?
Yes.
Okay, so I have to move on to the next one, but between those two, which one did you like? And how could you
Well, I'm
use
on
them?
the Earth one now. I'll be honest with you, I like the Coliseum better.
You do?
The Earth one is cool,
That's
but I like the Coliseum when I was up a lot closer than I felt like for the Eiffel Tower. And someone who's never been to either place, you know, I felt
well,
like I could reach out and touch the Coliseum.
with the Eiffel Tower, they do have more than one view, and I couldn't decide which one I wanted, so I
Right.
just kind of eeny meeny mowed it. But yeah, there's other views of that one. I think one's like at a sunset, and it's closer, and yeah, I probably should have picked that one. That would have been probably better, but I like the both. It was hard to choose. Okay, so Augmented has 3D and they also have lots of 3D objects that you can use in social studies. Like they have different maps, different like a voting map, a topographical map, a map of the Louisiana Purchase, and then also from the ancient Mesopotamia. Cannot speak. The ancient people, and it's a 3D object or map, or I'm not sure what do you call those? I call them objects, but they're kind of not. I mean, it's not an object you can touch. So what would you call that, Adam?
I'm
Are
sorry.
you
I was
there?
like, yeah, I was coughing up. I'm trying to get this cold. I missed that question. I'm sorry, Katie.
It's okay. I said I call them 3D objects, but they're not really objects. They're maps, three-dimensional that pop out. What would we call that? Like a I don't
Well,
think objects would be a good word for it.
no. I mean, we pretty much have been utilizing the term 3D images,
Images, there you go.
and this way it just sums everything up.
That works so much better. Okay, Amber's like rolling around on these questions, so I'm going to move on so that we kind of stay in
Yeah,
with the
and
Twitter
those
people.
objects, those 3D images work better when they're flat.
Right. On the
So
screen.
I'm having to look up underneath them.
Yeah, it doesn't work so well if you're projecting from a screen. If there are like flashcards or printed or a sticker put into a notebook, they work so much better. Me showing them on the screen don't quite do them justice. So, okay, ready for question number 6. So we kind of showed you some 3D images and some 360 images. How do you think you can tie these into your content? So I'm going to stop sharing my screen so that we can see everybody.
So, can I jump in?
Yep, go ahead.
One of the things that is just so important about having that virtual environment and having 3D objects is that students can actually pick the objects that belong in that environment. So if we're talking about a tropical rainforest, because we're teaching about the different forests around the world, what animals belong there, what is their gross national product, what are some of the things that they would grow, they can actually pull those objects in three-dimensional to tie into the lesson. And we actually are now doing one more step and doing 3D printing, which there's a 3D printer library available. So now they can actually print out those three-dimensional objects on their printers. So now we're tying the 3D, 360, and printing. So that's how I would use it. That's how I created it.
Tammy, you got a 3D printer.
Yeah, well, not yet. It's sitting at IT. It's got my name on it. We have a space in my room, all designed, all ready to go. And I've been told either tomorrow or maybe Monday it'll be delivered. So,
Tammy, you can have the library, okay?
score!
Right now there's 400 images in there that you can print out and grow.
Oh, sweet. Sweet.
All right. So it's yours.
So,
just email
well,
me
I will be your 3D printer ambassador. How about that?
Ah, there you go. Absolutely, there you go.
See, aren't you glad you joined me tonight?
Of course, I'm always glad I get to join you. I don't get to join you near enough. So, with being a computer science teacher, any of the 3D, it doesn't matter to me what the subject area is. It's the coding and everything that goes behind it is extremely important to my students. They want to know how it gets done. So
Mine are getting there.
Yeah, they are very excited. How does he do that? How do you do that? I want to know how you do that. And they want to know how to build them for themselves. So it encourages them to explore what they can do.
Right. And I have not really opened it up for, we've got our 3D printer in January, and I haven't really opened it up for kids to just print.
Mm-hmm.
Right now I'm trying to get the teachers all on board, which is great. The math teacher, the 7th grade math teacher got on board. She's doing scale models with the kids. I walked the kids through how to bring in, I mean, she did they went and got stuff off of Thingiverse, and then they had to put a base on it so that we could print it. So it's all new. Everything's all new. So, and I told her that's a good place to start, is find a model. We'll make it so that we can print it, because not all those in Thingiverse are printer friendly. And I kind of, talked to her and walked her through how we could fix the problems. So she did that with the kids, and then I take the kids down and I show them from start to finish how to set up the printer, explain the different steps to them, so that the next time when they get to come down, they get to do it and I just get to watch. But we're not there on designing. I do have some kids that are in my STEM class that are designing. But that's as far as we've gotten. We're still, it's baby steps at my school, because it's all brand. We can't think a 3-dimensional plane. It's mind-blowing to the kids. They're always watching. They're always watching me to make sure that I have something printing. It's been nonstop. If I'm not at school, it's not printing. So they're like, what are you printing today? What's going to happen today? And I've made like all different things for different teachers, like a 3D model of the pyramid that comes apart, and that has the chambers and stuff inside, so the kids can open it and see the chambers. I've made that one's really cool. I end up making 2 of those, one for each social studies teacher. And then for my STEM class, we're going to do roller coasters, which is why I wanted the arcs for the aqueducts, so the kids can see the arcs, because that's how I want them in the roller coasters. And I printed a 3D roller coaster, marble roller coaster. And we have it in the library in our makerspace, and we got 8th graders playing with this thing, and they're amazed with it. And it took 30 hours to print, but it's called the Froggy Roller Coaster. But yeah, they're always asking, what are you going to do? And I said, I don't want to do it. I want you guys to do it. So having this library will be a great first step.
Yes.
Getting kids interested in.
This is the second one in our district. The first one arrived a week ago, and it's sitting at the district level, and they are printing for the elementary teachers. Mine will be the first one in a classroom in our district.
This is our second one. The first one was at the high school with the intention they were going to share it. That one's down more times than it's up and running. It's a year old, and it would have been the one I would have chosen to use. The one that I suggested is the one we got, and I've not had any real downtime with it. It's like I said, nonstop. I think I've had 2 major
Right.
jams, filament jams, and other than that, it's been going like a breeze.
Well, I am chomping at the bit. I'm hoping it comes in on Friday so that I can spend some time this weekend getting comfortable with it, because the set, like you said, the kids want to know what you're printing. And I've already had kids who are doing some STEM projects, some STEM career projects, come and ask me to do body parts for them. I have somebody wanting an ear because they're studying the inner ear bones. And then I have
We
someone
had that.
else. And I have someone else who wants a pair of feet because
Ooh.
her career is a coroner, and she wants to be able to put her own toe tag on a toe.
Oh, interesting. Well, she's thinking about her future.
She is, and she came to me. She was so excited, and she was like, "So you're going to do a 3D printer? You're getting this, and maybe before my project is due at the expo, and can I get a pair of feet?" And I went, "Feet?"
Now we need to augment that.
And so
Not for sure how we're going to do that, but that would be kind of cool, the little feet, and they scan it and maybe get a video of maybe printing the feet. Like a time-lapse video. My kids want to do a time-lapse when they print their connectors for this Model T truck. So they want to do a time-lapse of the things being printed to share, and we have triggers that we're gonna augment. And so when you scan it, you'll get the time-lapse video.
Oh, very nice, very nice. Well, I do know that they are connecting this particular printer to our network. They want to be able to see it printing from across the district.
I did that. I can see from my classroom.
Yeah. So
it's very slow motion and delayed, though.
Well, you know, being the first at anything brings that additional eyeball of everybody else who wants to see what you can do with it. So yeah. Let's put it this way: my room is more organized now than it has ever been.
Well, the camera's on the corner in the front right at the top, so they can see everything that's shooting in that direction. So if you have, I can see people, because ours is in the library, I can see people standing around the table, around where it's printing, and I would go send a kid and tell them, hey, tell this one kid to stop poking the other kid or something. They're like, how did you know that from your room? I got eyes everywhere.
Yes, students don't always realize where the cameras are. And they definitely don't realize who's watching them.
Right. Okay, we got to move on. We are running out of time, so we have the last question. And I know we got off topic, but that's what happens when you're talking, of course, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's go. Share my screen. We get the tunnel. And we get questions. And I can't remember, what did I share last? We did that one. Okay, so question number 7. What is the one thing in your curriculum you would love to bring to life for your students? Doug, what would you like to bring to life for your students? You're being quiet. Something you haven't done.
Yeah, that's hard. Somebody came into my classroom the other day and said, Mr. Parcher, you have 40 maps in your room. And I didn't realize I had so many maps in my room. And I think maps are great triggers for AR because you can use them to take people anywhere you want to go. So I've already done a lot of that, though. So, I kind of mentioned this the last time we got together. I'm really interested in being able to make AR a little bit more mobile. I want to get out of my classroom and start making the building that everybody works in and learns in and teaches in and moves around in much more of an AR experience. So I'm looking for things like that. I think as much as I can. Building doesn't change a lot, unfortunately. It kind of is what it is. But we have a cornerstone out in the front of the building. It says 1990, and I've been thinking about doing something with the cornerstone of the building. It's pretty static, and I think it would make a good trigger too. So I'm just kind of thinking about those kinds of things if they make sense.
We do have Dawn would like to see a timeline augmented in all subject areas, not just social studies. So timelines would be great if you could do that. Posters would be great. Maps. I did one of my, I can't remember which map. I think it was Greece. I was one of the first ones I augmented because I taught, ancient Greece. And the kids loved it, and it's, it's a map that I have, and I just took a picture of it, made that my trigger, and then I set the content on the augmented side. So, yeah, posters, timelines, maps are great triggers for any subject, not just social studies. And you're doing the presidents, right? How's that project going?
Yeah, I've actually finished my first phase of that. All the presidential libraries have been augmented, so kids can visit all of the presidential libraries. Kind of wondering what the Donald Trump library might look like, but I don't want to start any flame wars or debate. So, and
yeah, let's not go there.
I've got two huge timelines that are already done. One of them, the students create the content for. The other one, I've done. If you guys go back and look on some of the postings to the Hangout, you see that I've put up some blipper maps. There's a great little Chichen Itza map that you can scan if you have a blipper, for instance, that you can find on the Hangout there. So, a timeline is kind of infinite. You could augment that from now until God only knows when. I mean, you have to decide when to stop and move on to something else after that. So they're just really great candidates for triggers.
Yes, they are. Nick would like to see many virtual trips as possible. That's awesome if we can, go back in time and have a virtual trip of a pyramid, or back in time and see, the Mayans, the Renaissance. Those would be awesome to have augmented triggers, as well as, different places around the world that you can go virtually and experience different geographical locations. So I think it's coming, Nick. If it's already halfway there.
Well, I know that as we were my kids and I were trying to figure out what we wanted to do with Adam, our school in the center of our courtyard would have this beautiful gazebo, and Doug, it ties perfectly in what you were talking about with the cornerstone. We wanted to take a picture and have that picture be our trigger, and I got to thinking, well, if we take the picture from a specific spot that we can mark, from this particular red brick in the ground or something like that, then could from that spot, because that spot itself, people really scan our gazebo to make a trigger. Could it be a real-life trigger based on the original picture? And so,
well, actually, you could do a geotag or geolocation, so when they're in that location and they're scanning with the app, right? And that's a possibility. Adam, yes, no?
Yes.
Yes,
yeah.
he's nodding.
Yes.
Okay, you can use a geolocation, and then when they're in that area and they're using the app, the augmented stuff will pop up. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a picture of the gazebo or the cornerstone. It could be that geolocation, and then whatever you've tied to that location, that stuff will pop up. But I have not done geotagging augmented reality, but I know it's possible.
It is. It is totally possible.
I've done it, and it becomes a necessity for things that we're talking about because of light, basically. Some of these triggers that we're talking about, their scannables change considerably depending on lighting conditions, which change a lot too. So the geolocation of augmented content can come in really handy when you have that barrier that you need to get around when your lighting conditions change on things. Even a poster on a wall in a school, if the light in that hallway changes, sometimes things can get a little bit dicey sometimes. So I've done a couple of those geolocations. There's some technical demands that usually fall out of the purview of most people when you do that. You've got to have a database that's reachable from the internet and all that stuff, and it takes a bit of work, but I think the tools, as they get more mature, are going to cross some of those barriers and make things easier for us when we do that. There's been a lot of augmented reality talk in the news lately. Google's working on a big AR project now, and they're keeping it very quiet and hush-hush about what's coming out. I've got a pair of VR goggles coming in, and I'm going to see what possibilities might exist for that. And it's going to be interesting, I think.
Well, the next year, definitely with VR and AR taking off, it's going to be interesting to see what comes out. I can't wait. I like to play with new toys. Okay, well, it is actually the end of our chat, and I do have one more slide to share, so if you give me 1 second. Let me do the tunnel. Present to everyone. Next week, we are going to be talking about, and this will be a Twitter chat, it will not be a GHO and chat, it will just be all on Twitter. Augmented reality in the language arts, the reading, language arts, ways that you can use augmented reality to bring like books to life or writing to life. So we'll stay tuned, and we'll have lots and lots of ideas for you. And if you want to join us, make sure that you let us know so that we can remind you. We do send out reminders. We do have a Remind 101, or it used to be 101, Remind group that if you want to sign up with that, you'll get a reminder. Do you guys still get those reminders? I send them out.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I got it.
I do it. I really do. I'll send out a reminder. We tweet out reminders. Amber's been really great about creating visual advertisement for us for AR for learning using the is it Buncee, B-U-N-C-E-E slides,
Yeah, it is
which
Buncee.
is what she used. Buncee, okay. I know I don't want to pronounce things wrong. Which she uses for all the slides that we showed tonight. And she'll send those out, and she tries to send those to me, and I'll send them out as well. So before we leave, are there any questions or anything that anybody wants to share from the group?
So I do. If you, Doug, I don't want to cut you off. I hope I didn't cut you off. I know Doug was about to say something. No?
No, that's good.
So Katie, Ann, a little less than a year ago, maybe like 8 months ago, we decided to launch that campaign to reach 1 million students with augmented reality, whatever it might be. You remember we were sitting here going, we just want them to go use it, right? So
that was in October.
That was October? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So we gave it a year to reach 1 million students, right? We said in 1 year we want to reach 1 million students. So I just want to thank you. I want to thank everybody else. We just did a tally of teachers and students registered to AugThat with their students. We are now, our official number as of today is 1,065,085.
Awesome.
So
that was done in less than a year.
In less than a year, and that we are reaching out to 14 countries now, utilizing augmented reality in 40 states. That's an unbelievable number, and I just want to thank everybody that they were able to get that free license. So I'm going to throw something past you. So we hit 1 million. Why don't we go for more?
Like how many?
I don't know. We'll just say we'll give it a year and see how many we get to. We've already hit that 1 million mark, so go you and go everybody else who's been pushing it, but let them try other things too. Let them learn about augmented reality and the different companies that are out there, and it's all about the augmented reality. So I want to say that I am extremely grateful, and as an educator, to know that I'm reaching that many students because of everybody's help and assistance, that is an amazing accomplishment that we were able to give away that many free licenses. So
That is awesome.
yeah. So I just want to thank everybody, let everybody know that's where we are, and I'll leave it up to you, Katie Ann, to come up with the next number.
Well, we did that in less than a year, so I don't know. I'll have to think about it.
I say we go for 1.5.
1.5 million?
Yeah.
Not 2?
Okay, you want to go for 2? We can do 2. Let's do it. I'm fine with it. 2 million free licenses then. There's the new number. Go for it.
Okay, awesome. Now another challenge. I can do it. I have lots of presentations coming up.
And you got lots of great people. You're good. You're awesome. You guys can do it. I'll give away as many licenses as you want. I don't care. I just want the kids to use augmented reality. It's awesome. So, thank you for
Awesome.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Doug, for joining us. And Amber on the Twitter site, and definitely Tammy, thank you for keeping the conversation going with me. I know I can be a little crazy and scatterbrained. I do appreciate it. And if you need help with that 3D printer, just holler.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Okay, well, it's a wrap, so I will see everybody in Twitter or wherever. Just if you need help, shout. We're always here to help and give a hand when needed. So good night, everyone.
Good night.
Bye, Doug.